What up? It's your boy Nick Incredible, and this is Tracker Episode 2, titled Masula. And it wasn't super action packed, but it was real. Let's talk about it.
Headed out for change, I just started on my quest. Yeah, the world will know my name, I'm excited, I'm obsessed. No one in my way but myself and a test. Yeah, I will be the best, yeah, I will be the best. Life is just a game, I'll be playing till I rest. I'll be there to claim my own spot among the best.
This episode was good. I feel like episode 1 hit a little bit harder, but this one was really good because of the realism aspect going on with the whole cult. Now, to start this episode, we see that Coulter's mom is feeling like somebody is stalking her, possibly. I don't know, because somebody broke into his father's office, but also broke into the cabin and left her a note, and then they moved stuff around in the cabin once Coulter got there and explored the cabin a little bit. So we now know, at least in my opinion, the mom is definitely hiding something. Like, we knew certain things was fishy with his mom not wanting him to answer his brother's call and avoid him and stuff, but now with everything that's going on, like, we're not getting a lot of information towards it, but his mom is definitely hiding something towards his father. Maybe their jobs, about, you know, them being fired from Berkeley. Like, there's so much more going on, and I feel like Coulter probably expanded on a little bit of that this episode while dealing with the cult guy. Now, the case this episode revolves around this family looking for their son named Jackson, and he's disappeared. They can't get a hold of him. He's withdrawn all his money from his bank account. He's just missing. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. And to be fair, all that's very cultish. Like, watching the episode, I was like, from the jump, I was like, yeah, this is a cult. I can't speak for anybody, but this is a cult, man. This is stuff that cults do. But as the episode progresses, we see Coulter trying to, find out more what's going on. And as he's searching, he comes across this house, and, like, this particular chick that kind of pulled Jackson in. I think her name is Rebecca Pendergast or something like that. She's the typical con woman. So she played on Jackson's, fears and insecurities and everything. And she hooked him, and then they pulled him into the cult. Now, the concept of them needing him was the fact that Jackson was I'm assuming some kind of savant with, like, the books or whatever. That was his job. He was an accountant kind of guy. So he knew how to work the books and cook the books. And they needed somebody like that for their cult, to look legit on paper. Now, with Coulter, expanding and searching for him, we also see that he's now engrossed in this cult world, and Jackson doesn't really want to leave. They're kind of secluding him from his family and from Coulter. Like, there's so much going on, and Jackson is just kind of secluded off somewhere. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. He doesn't want to do anything like that. But we know that's what cults do. Like, we've seen enough media in real life, live action cult stuff that they shown in documentaries and stuff like that. We know what a cult is about, man, and we know that they tend to get pretty violent as well. But what I loved about this episode is the realism aspect of it with the cult. Coulter kind of got caught up in it a little bit as well, but we also see his team, his crew, so to speak, kind of got a little bit more involved in this case because, like I said, the realism aspect, and it was starting to be a little bit more dangerous as well. Teddy and Velma, they went to check on particular parts of the case to find out a little bit more information. His resident tech guy really done a lot of stuff. So, like, everybody was a little bit more involved this episode. Episode 1 was the introduction, trying to get used to the team and meeting everybody. But now, we've met everybody, so now they can expand a little bit more as the episodes progress. And we really get to see everybody kind of use their skills to the forefront, because this case is a little bit more dangerous than your typical normal case. What I'm saying? It's a cult, and they're massive, dangerous at the same time. We see everybody kind of getting involved because this isn't their typical case. There's a cult, there's some murder, there's some disappearing going on, there's some following, there's a lot of stuff. But it wasn't as action-packed. It was more story and plot oriented, and I'm okay with that because, like I said, there's this huge mystery going on with Coulter's father and his mom and everything like that. But with Coulter being introduced to the cult and them obtaining his information, when he broke into the house and everything and whooped those guys' butt. But them getting his information, oh look, it's Coulter Shaw. So they done their research to kind of find out who he was. And when he actually met the guru guy of the cult, I feel like they've done enough research, and we see they have a file on Coulter as well. So maybe in the file there's something that Coulter can have to kind of answer his longing questions, like what actually happened to his father, why did he actually get fired? Because Coulter doesn't know these things. These are mysteries that's escaped him as well, but they're part of the things that made him who he is today as well. But I feel like it wasn't a bad thing. The cult part is still horrendous, but in that particular moment, they were able to, gain some kind of information about his father that Coulter didn't have. So it allowed him to obtain that information for himself. So I think that was the only upside to this, because there is no upsides to a cult. So they come in, when you're feeling down and your insecurities and everything, and then they leech onto that, and then now they got you hooked. And that's what happened with Jackson this episode. It's sad, but Coulter came through and saved him right there at the end. He had to kind of snap him out of it a little bit, but like I said, the episode really didn't have to do a lot of action or anything like that, but it really was more story oriented, and I feel like it was kind of doing like a twofer. Like we're dealing with our main character, him obtaining some information, but we also focused on Jackson as well. So it was kind of like you got two for the price of one a little bit. And I feel like at the end of the day, it was good, and it didn't really have to be too heavily involved. I mean, that's what we came for. We came to see him solve cases, rescue people, and kind of just wrap all that up in that, I want to say maybe like 42 minutes. But I enjoyed it. Like, episode 2 was good. I still feel like episode 1 was a little bit better, but that's just my opinion. I do love how each episode is titled after the city that he's in. I feel like that's a nice little nod. So, you may not know much, but you get to explore different cities across the United States, but you also get to see Coulter be in these different environments every time while he's trying to save someone else in a new city. But I just think it's a nice little nod that they name each episode after the city that they're in. That was kind of cool. This is Brother Incredible. Don't forget to smash the like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe. Peace out.
Cause I've been working a lot, I think I deserve a shot, I think I deserve a spot. Cause it's been years on this path that I walked, and if I keep going, I pray I'll be at the top.